This is a Lachey production.
My name is Susan, and I live with depression.
Hi, my name is Alex Roper, and I live with depression.
Hi, my name is Demetra, and I live with depression.
You can't just get over it. It's not sadness. It's not just feeling down. I mean, I felt down. You can feel down. That's one thing. But it's being stuck down for no particular reason other than that you just can't see a point in life. And I think some people think, everybody's sad sometimes. And that's one thing. But to feel hopeless about life, it's scary. And it's not just feeling sad.
I think people that don't live with depression or know anybody that deals with it, you need to know that it's not something that somebody can just get over just because you're tired of hearing about it. Like, they may have something on their mind. They may feel a certain type of way, and they may feel like you're one of the persons that they can depend on to listen to. And if you just shut them out, then they feel like they have nobody. And that's just going to make the situation worse. So just listen. Watch for some signs. Like, you got to learn to help people. You got to be more understanding. Like, everybody doesn't feel like you. We may be smiling and happy on the outside, but on the inside, we just want to cry. Like, there was a lot of nights that I cried myself to sleep. And during the day, just happy. Like, just listen to people. That's all I can say.
It's not just being sad, and there's no pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and just dealing with it. It's living with a blanket of complete hopelessness that you don't know how to get out from under. And I had one friend that asked me to describe anxiety disorder to him, and this is the closest comparison I have is imagine yourself at your most nervous, multiply it by 20, and then you don't know why you're nervous.
I would say that you have to find a way to love yourself and to validate your own feelings. And just because somebody else has it worse doesn't mean that your feelings don't matter. And it doesn't mean that you don't have a right to feel those feelings. If you don't have anybody in your life that you feel comfortable with talking to, there are phone numbers, there are systems, there are organizations in place for people that have these problems. You're not alone. You're not the only one that feels that way. That doesn't mean that it doesn't matter, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't feel terrible. But don't give up, because the low that you're in is not going to be forever. You can get help.
To those of you that are like me and many others, you need to know that you are not by yourself living with depression. You're not alone. There's help out there. You don't have to struggle by yourself. There may not be somebody in your circle that wants to listen to you, but you can always find a therapist. You can always go to your doctor, talk to your doctor. Do not be ashamed to say that you're depressed. Like, I was actually afraid to make this video because of what people may think. Forget what people may think. It doesn't matter. What matters is you getting better, you loving yourself, you getting out of that slump, because you do matter. You do. And you need to know that.
There's a massive amount of support groups out there. And it's going to take that first step. Having the courage to take that first step is really the first thing. And once you take that first step, it gets easier. And the second step's a little easier. Then the third step. And it's hard to have the motivation to do it. It's hard to get over that scared embarrassment feeling. But at some point, you got to decide, do I want to live this way the rest of my life, or do I want to get better? So no, depression is, nobody can do it for you. And so you got to do it for yourself, or be miserable the rest of your life. Yeah, it sounds harsh, but that's really what it is.
I think it's important to keep an eye out for like your family, and if your family struggles with this type of thing, to know that you're more prone to it. It's important to know your limits. It's important to know the kinds of things that your family struggles with in general. Like, for example, my family struggles with alcoholism. And I know that I have to be careful with that, because not only do I struggle with depression, but my family struggles with alcoholism. And those two go hand in hand. And if you're not aware of those types of things, you could spiral out of control. Self-awareness, I think, is very important. And if you're not self-aware, then you can get help becoming that way. There, again, are systems, phone numbers, organizations that can help you recognize your own signs.
I really just want people to understand what depression is. If you don't understand it, watch this docuseries. Talk to people that do have depression. Look it up online. Like, you can Google everything. Don't judge somebody just because they say they have depression. Like, it doesn't mean that there's something completely wrong with them. Like, everybody has issues. Everybody battles something. And you shouldn't judge somebody just because of that. Like, nobody's perfect. We all need help at times in our lives. And if somebody wants to reach out to you and they feel like you would listen to them, maybe you should listen. You might save somebody's life.
It affects everybody around you. And there is proof that it's genetic in some instances. And you can make decisions in moments that cause damage to people other than you. The first step is the hardest, but it gets easier. Never goes away, but it gets easier.
This is a Lachey production. This is a Lachey production.